What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wind Down Wednesday edition of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Hoops, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. For this edition of our Wind Down Wednesday, I know you, sir, you like drinking your wine, and I do appreciate that. However, last weekend, we did make a trip down to Georgia.
We did make a trip down to Georgia.
We did happen to see our friend, Bryce Cannon.
Yes, we did.
Beat Matt Cardona. So, in honor of that,
Matt Cardona.
I'm going to pop a PBR for you, man.
I love that. That's
Cheers to you, Bryce. Cheers to you, Eric. Cheers to you, Cardona.
Cheers. This is not a bad way to start a Wednesday night. You've been in a really good mood lately. So is Johnny. This is kind of weird.
I don't know to take that as a compliment or not.
You shouldn't. Anyway, that's fine. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Make sure to hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure to follow the Main Event Network, mainevent_.net. If you want great interviews, you want great blogs, you want great fan art, we have a little bit of everything here on the network. Shout out to the boys at the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. We are going to be doing another main event mixer this weekend, and quite frankly, I am excited and cannot wait.
I did get the okay from the wife, so
yes,
I'm in.
Thanks,
I'm going
Heather.
to be on there. I think it's going to be all four of us, right?
I think so. First time
Look at that.
in a very long time. Yeah, it's
going to be fun.
I'm here for
it. You know why I think I'm in such a great mood?
Porque, mon frere.
I think it's because I was right.
About.
Oh, did you not watch NXT last night?
I watched NXT, but you claim to be right about a lot of things. Let's just narrow it down here a little bit.
Who's you tell me, sir, who's challenging for the NXT champion at Stand and Deliver?
Yeah. You would be correct. Tony D'Angelo is the new number one contender for the NXT championship at Stand and Deliver. You may have said a thing or two about this being the result, and that Trick Mello is going to be personal and without the title. So, congratulations, broken clock, right twice a day. Congratulations.
That's fine. It's great when it's right twice a day, every day. But
blow it out your ass.
I'm excited for it, man. Like, I don't think Tony D's gonna win, but it's a fresh title match. I will say that. I always thought that I didn't think Mello and Trick need the title because I don't think there's going to be a rematch, right? I think Trick is going to beat Mello at Stand and Deliver, and Mello's going to go do his main roster thing. So they've already had it. It's a non-sanctioned match, I think, is what they announced. So, we're skipping that first initial singles match that we usually get in a usually 3-match feud. We're going straight to the non-sanctioned. So I like it. I like I said, I like that it's a fresh matchup for the NXT championship. Again, in no way I think Tony D is going to win, but I like this more serious side of the Tony D'Angelo character we're getting. We had I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he's now in the family. The lawyer is now in the family.
Luca Crucifino Esquire, yeah, and that's a perfect fit for him. Yeah,
that's it. That faction is now growing and growing with people that make sense. I like that we're getting the kind of behind the scenes of of him doing stuff. We're not seeing it, but it's getting done kind of thing. But we know it's him behind it. So I really like that aspect of this Tony D more serious character. And the match last night was pretty good. So he's improved a lot in the ring since those NXT 2.0 days.
That gimmick as a whole has improved significantly since the NXT 2.0 days. This is I'm fine with this. This is okay. I may not have had the foresight to see that this was what it was going to be, but I do like the idea of an unsanctioned match. It again goes back to one of my all-time favorites between Triple H and Shawn Michaels in 2002. I mean, the ultimate friendship blow-off. This is kind of where it's at for them right now, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I was thinking that Trick was going to be one of the bodyguards that came out, and once he ripped off that mask, they kind of set up for that. But no, it was cool. I really enjoyed how they set this up and got to this. But let's rewind a little bit. Let's start from the beginning here. So Lexus King did yeah.
Real quick, I would like to say, I think Roadblock overall was very good. The crowd last night kind of stunk. Did you pick that up at all?
Not really, no.
Okay, because like we had a couple returns, and like the crowd didn't really pop for either of them. So I thought the crowd was kind of weak last night.
That's fair. I mean, and sometimes there's just going to be off weeks like that, you know, and I'm not necessarily going to read too terribly much into that just yet, just because you never know what's going on in the arena when we're there. But Lexus King kicks off the show with a pre-tape. Surprise, surprise, he's not on the card. The bloom is off this rose. I wanted so badly for it to work because I've been a fan of Brian Pillman Jr. He's a super nice guy the one time that I met him, so I really wanted to see this work for him, and it's I don't know. I think it's time to go back to the drawing board.
They need to figure something out because they made an investment in him, and I think he could be something in WWE overall, but I don't think the Lexus King character has worked.
Yeah, no, it's okay, and they're early enough into the run that, you know, if you have to start over, it's not the end of the world. I mean, remember the Viking experience?
Nope.
Exactly, and no one will say that. No one will remember Lexus King should he decide to go back to Brian Pillman Jr. So
all the greats had a terrible gimmick to start.
Yeah, Flex Kavana, Mean Mark Callis, Dr. Isaac Yankem,
the Ringmaster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, not that I'm saying he's on that level, but no, it's okay that the gimmick didn't work, but let's adjust and not try to beat a dead horse.
Exactly,
Roman Reigns.
Not just.
But look where he is now. You know what I mean? Like they pivoted and it worked. So,
but would they have made that pivot if the pandemic hadn't happened?
Now. We're not going to get into this debate now.
I'm just saying. Their hand was forced. Their hand was forced. Okay.
It was, but that's probably the only good thing to come out of a pandemic, is we got the tribal chief.
Hey, we met at a beer Olympics during the pandemic. All right, so this show came out of the pandemic.
Was that during the pandemic?
It was during the pandemic.
You wouldn't have known if you were at that party. No, you would not.
Hey, I'd at least gotten vaxxed by that point, so you know I did my part.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Dijak defeated Joe Gacy in the Asylum match. You were wrong. You did not see Steve.
Well, I don't think his name was Steve. So technically, I wasn't.
You don't get to, blow it out your ass. You don't get to do that tonight. You seem pretty damn adamant. Johnny seemed pretty damn adamant.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't predict anything. So
sorry, you guys look a lot alike. That's all.
I'm much better looking. Yes. Yeah, I thought this was a fun match. Dijak is insane. Gacy's insane. So it worked well. I'm ready to see Dijak challenge for the NXT championship.
Yeah, this was a fun feud. I like this because this was the exact first program that Joe Gacy needed. Now that he's finally split away from Schism and we're kind of figuring out what's next with him, he had been doing a lot of the weird commentary stuff, showing up in random places, holding a video camera. We thought that he'd almost, unharmed himself and all of that stuff that we kind of saw building up to this. So this was cool to get his feet wet to see what we can do with this character. But Dijak, I mean, since he's returned to NXT, I mean, he's been putting on some masterclass performances. I mean, we've seen what he can do with Ilya. It's time to kind of, I don't see Obafemi losing that North American Championship anytime soon. But I could see Dijak as a contender for the NXT Championship. Let's just say, for the sake of this discussion, that Ilya retains the Stand and Deliver. Trick will have that title match eventually. I don't think that they need to rush into that right away now that he has rid himself of Mello, because that's presumably what's going to happen here. But Dijak, I would like to see them return to this well. I mean, especially after that last man standing match from last year.
Oh, one of the match of the year candidates for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Dijak has done very very well since he's been back. The gimmick, I don't love the gimmick, the whole you know justice thing, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm getting it's a lot better than I
T-bar.
won't cuss, but it is a lot better than T-bar. So I'm happy that we have at least Dijak back every week on television, where we know how good he is, and they're showcasing him a little bit more.
Yeah. In other news, Hook is defending the FTW Championship against Brian Cage. In case you were concerned about what Hook is doing on Dynamite tonight,
No,
I know that
I
you.
saw that
I
tweet.
know. Okay, I was gonna say I know you're worried about what Brian Cage is definitely doing on Dynamite and making sure he has a place on the card. So I just wanted to let you know.
Is Will Ospreay still wrestling tonight?
I don't know. I turned this.
He was supposed to wrestle Kyle Fletcher tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean I haven't seen any changes here. I've got
because I know he had
background,
that bad bruise, like that real nasty bruise at the press conference he showed. So I'd be interested in that. But yeah, like I saw a lot of in our group chat we did the same thing, the Dynamite 2.0 kind of thing. But I don't hate the kind of rebrand. It's they're 5 years in, you might as well refresh. And like when they started, they had the whole rainbow thing going on. Like I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean you're supposed to refresh every couple of years. That's just what happens. I certainly don't read too much into it. Yes, it has that kind of that reminds me of 2.0 and had a laugh at it, but it's not going to stop me from watching Dynamite.
Well, no, it's going to stop me from watching Collision. But
you're home on a Saturday night. I figured you would be watching Collision more so than I.
What time does Collision come on?
8 p.m.
Oh, okay. Well, I have no excuse then.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I'm usually watching King of the Hill by then. My new favorite thing.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Let's talk about the tag titles. War Dogs retain over Chase University.
Not really surprised.
That's fine. It really didn't do much.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. I mean, Chase U, even though their money woes have been solved, they're still in this weird spot right now because JC Jane's still in the group, and I don't know who the new chick is that she's been hanging out with, but they seem to be giving Thea Hale some bad advice. Like, it's just kind of one of those things that's starting to snowball. And then we've got the Will They Won't They with Thea Hale and Riley Osborne. I also really, really enjoyed the segment where Blair Davenport also comes in and is just kind of watching like what's going on here. Like, it's just I like when they do that wink wink nudge nudge on TV.
Well, then her comment like, "What do you know about relationships?" Like that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So, yeah. Congratulations to them, by the way.
Yeah, like the whole like, and we'll give it time because we originally hated the Chase U bankrupt gimmick.
Yeah.
We didn't really love that storyline, but in time it got hokey and it was fun. Yeah. Like this one, I'm okay. Like it's fine. I'm interested to see what. Because we are getting a tag team tournament. I know you love tournaments, but we'll see who the challengers for the War Dogs are at Stand and Deliver, which I assume those are going to be the two that beat those guys. Because Braun is main roster bound, which will be interesting to see what they do with Corbin, which I never thought I would say.
I am not clamoring for a Baron Corbin return to the main roster. I'm soon. I think that there's too many. There's too many names where he could once again get lost in the shuffle there. But this has been a great use for Baron Corbin in NXT. I think that our ceiling I think we both agree the ceiling for him is he will compete for the NXT Championship. I don't necessarily see him winning it anytime soon. I think there's just too many other guys you put that title on that would get the benefit of it more so than Corbin.
No, and I'm not mad at like the veteran presence in NXT. Like it's not. I kind of like it. So. To take it like baseball terms, you always see a veteran down in the minor leagues. Like it happens, and it's a cool thing to see sometimes. So not everybody's built for that man roster, and Corbin is doing very well in NXT. Why move him? Like I have no issues with it.
Yeah, I could even see, and this is after Obafemi, whatever the end game is for his North American title run, I could see Baron Corbin being in the mix for that championship as well down the line. I think that would be appropriate use for him as well.
You know what I could see Baron Corbin doing, in all honesty?
Hit me.
Is, do you remember, man, I can't remember what year it was. Do you remember when Kevin Nash just kind of ruined the X Division for a while? Do you remember that?
Go on.
I could see Corbin doing that with like the Heritage Cup. And tell me that wouldn't be fun.
Speaking of the Heritage Cup, I put this in the group chat last night. Because I don't know if you got to watch that segment.
Of course I did. William Regal was in it.
Okay.
Of course I did.
I knew that segment usually comes after your bedtime, so I was a little concerned whether you would have the chance to actually
watch
see it.
Everything. I just don't watch it at the same time as most people.
Okay. Well, what time does NXT Level Up come on?
I don't know.
You just said you watched everything.
Well, I mean,
the podcast dad full of shit?
I watch everything we discuss. Yes or no? Yes or no?
You watch most everything that we discuss. You do.
Thank you.
You do. However,
Thank
if
you.
I were to go to the tape, and there's 129 episodes I got to wade through to find it, but you said that NXT Level Up will be your domain.
So how about this?
You would know who Luca Crucifino is.
How about this?
What?
How about you come take care of my kids, and then I'll watch Level Up.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Not.
You gonna end the argument now?
Nope.
Okay.
Just saying.
When you come take care of my kids, I will watch Level Up.
What are you talking about? When?
That's what I'm saying. When you come take care of my kids, I will watch Level Up. Everybody hears it. Everybody's heard it. It's now on record, not on tape, because we don't do tape, but it's now on record that you take care of my kids, I'll watch Level Up. One time.
Nope. Absolutely.
One time.
Absolutely.
One time.
Yeah, no. Nope. I love you and I love your family to death, but no.
What was that old chant? SWAFT. Soft.
It's called being child free and enjoying every second of it. Like, oh, miss me with that.
Okay, all right. Yes, speaking of children, William Regal was in the same ring as Charlie Dempsey, and
that was great.
Oh, man, that was
awesome.
Just keep giving that to me.
It was, I mean, I like that it wasn't necessarily a tease of anything between them as far as a relationship going forward. I think the door is still open. It was basically don't mess this up.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten to the mountaintop. Let's see if you can stay there. Don't screw it up.
Loved it.
I don't think that he will. I mean, this is and again, I've already been sold on No Quarter Catch Crew for a while now. I think that they only get better from here.
I like that they've abbreviated their name. Did you catch that?
Thank you, CC.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Oh, I love that. Just a little poke. Just a little poke.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? I mean, the ceiling is high for these guys. I mean, it took a while to kind of get them heated up, and yeah.
I mean,
Damon Kemp's certainly doing better than his brother.
I don't know who that is. If his brother, I know who Damon Kemp is. He's a stud. But like, if Regal joins that group, you know that meme about the guy sitting up in the video game chair. Yep. That's me. If William Regal is leading that, is like the spokesperson for that group, I'm all in. All in.
I'm not mad.
William Regal
really not. I mean,
on my television is everything I need.
I did expect to see Noam Dar be a little bit more depressed for a bit longer than he was. I think he's just kind of in denial now.
Yeah, and they've already done that, so I'm not mad that we didn't see that again. Like they've done that storyline. I'm glad they're not like kind of retreading it because we've seen it before.
So what's next for Metaphor?
I think they're turning face, and I wouldn't be mad at it.
I wouldn't hate it. No, and especially because and a lot of that, I'm gonna give a lot of that credit to Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, because before they linked up with Metaphor, I was not a fan of either of them in the ring. I think that especially with Lash, I mean, you saw the potential was there, but it was just was not good.
No.
And she has leveled up, pun intended, significantly since she's been with that group. I mean, there's nobody better to learn from, especially when you got a guy that has the experience and caliber of Noam Dar. I mean, if you're going to be in one of those groups, you're going to learn to work, much like we said about Miles Bourne in NQCC.
Yeah, and they're in the tag tournament, so I could see them
Yeah,
transitioning over to the tag team division, which we need. We need solid tag teams, please. Thank you.
yeah. Next up, Shawn Spears makes his in-ring return to NXT, defeated Uriah Connors. You know who Uriah Connors was?
Yes, I do. That was Brogan
Good for
Finley.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, good for you. Also, that's a cheap plug. Check out our interview with Rico Gonzalez, where he has nothing but good things to say about his dear friend Brogan Finley. Check that out in our archives on YouTube. This is about what you would expect for a Shawn Spears return. No, just get him a win, get him over.
How do you feel about this?
About what in
Just
particular?
the presentation and everything.
I like it. I'm very very intrigued. It's certainly a darker presentation of this guy compared to the 10 upbeat, just super
Yeah.
on all the time. I think that this was something that should have worked for him in AEW, but Shawn Michaels is going to pick up the ball and keep running with it. Still going.
Jury's still out for me.
Okay.
Because they're not referencing at all that he was Ty Dillinger, and I think that's a little weird.
You think that they should, or that you know?
Yeah, I mean, people know who he is, right? Like he's been with the
Yeah.
company before. You
Yeah.
can kind of tell that backstory of, hey, like you just said, I was this guy that was doing 10 all the time and I got over and now I'm, more serious and I went away and I found who I really was kind of thing, right? That's why I say I'm going to give it time. Like, I'll
Sure.
wait.
Sure.
But, like, this was, I didn't need to see a Shawn Spears squash match. Like, I just, me personally, like,
Yeah.
again, I know who he is. It's not like Alexis King who's debuting in front of this crowd for the first time. We know who Shawn Spears is. He was in NXT for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like, we are familiar with who you are. The whole thing with Ridge Holland, I still don't love. There's an aspect to Ridge Holland's character about I don't want to hurt people. I get it as far as like a kayfabe thing, but like that's wrestling.
Yeah.
Like you actively go in there and try to beat somebody, and I get it. You don't want to. It's just a weird blurred line for me that I'm just not enjoying as much. I'm gonna let this breathe. I'll give you the floor a little bit more, but I'm gonna let this breathe and kind of let's see where the next few weeks go.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I like this because I mean this is the most recent of a major debut. I mean, Lexus King would be the previous one, just because there really haven't been any new names that have debuted in NXT as far as okay, here's a splash that we're adding to the roster, or at least that we feel is a splash that we're adding to the roster.
In what way? Like a return or like somebody from a different company? Because I would say an
Yeah.
Obafemi was a huge splash.
I would say return slash.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about this, Shawn Spears coming back to NXT, major surprise. Lexus King, we had already had the idea once he was released from AEW, signing with WWE. We didn't know what he was going to do. We didn't know what to expect here. So it is kind of, at least for me anyway, when you look at Lexus King, Shawn Spears, think of both for just the sake of this or this discussion, blank canvas, because it was Ty Dillinger, not Shawn Spears. And then we've got Lexus King, who has said basically, I'm shedding Brian Pillman Jr. So these are blank canvases for NXT to work with as far as these talents here. The problem was Lexus King. I think he got a win against the Jobber and that was it. But went right into the Halloween Havoc match like 2 weeks later and has been kind of just on a downhill trend since then. Shawn Spears, because he's in a program with Ridge Holland, I don't know if this program is designed to bring out that just like hunter instinct in Ridge Holland, that killer instinct, or I don't know what they're trying to do here. But at least we know that Shawn Spears is going to win this program, and he's going to be in a better position to grow and move up the roster because he's winning this first feud, which we have not seen with Lexus King here.
Yeah, I just think my biggest thing is like, what's the end game for a Shawn Spears in NXT? Like how long do you think he's going to be down there? Because we talked about it this weekend.
Yeah.
Like he's 43 years old. Like
He is.
it's not like he's an up and comer anymore. Like, I think you could have had him come back to the main roster and been okay with it. Like, if he would have come back on like a SmackDown and
Yeah.
started feuding with somebody, I would have been okay with that too. I just don't know what the long term goal of a Shawn Spears in NXT is.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't see him down there forever, but it's I don't know. Age in wrestling, especially in 2024, it's so different because 43 in 2024 is different than 43 in
Yeah.
1985, 1995. Like I mean, look at what AJ Styles is doing at 46.
Hell,
Look
look
at
at
what
what
R-Truth
Sting
is
just
doing at
did.
52. Exactly. So that's the thing is as long as they feel that they can go, I don't necessarily see there being a limit on what he could do on NXT. I mean, if we're talking just okay, as far as his spot on the roster, how high can he climb into NXT? Again, there's a very Obafemi-sized roadblock, pun intended, in the way there, but that would be a championship I could see him competing for. I could see him as a contender for the NXT championship, maybe not winning it,
Okay.
especially waiting to kind of see how things play out with Ilya post Stand and Deliver is going to be a lot of the discussion there. Um, but I mean, I'm not going to write him off just yet. Even if
Oh,
I wouldn't say that if he's still on the NXT roster this time next year, then we need to have a serious talk. But I think for now, let's just let it cook. Let him get his WWE sea legs under him again, and let him cook.
yeah, and like I said, I'm not like out on Shawn Spears. I didn't think it was
Sure.
terrible. I'm just I'm waiting to see what the plan is. This just
Yeah,
doesn't like a feud with Rich Holland in NXT just doesn't excite me as much as other potential things he could do. So
I get
I'll give
that.
it time.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, at this point, if you're going to send Ridge back to NXT because he's been broken away from Brawling Brutes, like you have to start somewhere,
Hey, we got Pete Dunne back, so I don't care
And
what Rich
that
Holland does anymore.
yeah. Okay, I'll let you say that to Ridge the Fridge. I won't.
I won't. I'm happy Pete Dunne's back. We got another return last night, real quick.
Yep.
So Ruka's back.
So excited.
Yeah, dude, she is.
I'm so excited. She is the truth. She is the future of that women's division. Just
Yeah, you want to
can't
talk
wait
about
to see what
sky's
they
the
do.
limit.
Yeah.
I mean, athletically, she's just insane.
Yeah, seriously. And
And
it's nice. I mean, it's nice to see. I mean, at this point right now, because that was during the. Let me get my notes up here. Maybe you can tell me because I mean I remember seeing the return. I just don't remember what segment that was part of.
it was Fallon Henley's.
That's right. Oh yeah. Seeing Blair Davenport getting the W
Yes.
there. Yeah, in long-term continuity, which is great. Blair Davenport is a fantastic wrestler, and we've said that about her. She's got that
Oh,
place
yeah.
of making other people look good. I think that there's a little room for improvement when it comes to the mic work and things like that. But once she has all that together, I mean, she's gonna be awesome on the main roster, that's for sure. But no, give me Sol Ruka, Blair Davenport. I think this is gonna be a stand and deliver program, which I'm totally fine with.
And if I'm not mistaken, and I might be because sometimes I am. I think that
I'm
was the
sorry, say
match
that
she
one more
got.
time.
I think that was the match she got hurt in. Was
No, the
against
sentence
Blair
before that.
Davenport. No, was the match against Blair Davenport. So, like you said, there's some long term
Yeah.
storytelling there. But
So what it was so this was when they were doing the mystery attacker because they had kind of the
yep.
string of injuries. So I think Sol Ruka, Nikita Lyons,
Okay,
yeah. So they were backstage attacks, and she was revealed to be the
got it.
attacker. So
Got
close,
it.
but
A lot of
yeah.
wrestling,
There's
man. A lot of
no,
wrestling.
I know.
And you want me to talk about something that happened 9 months ago? Good luck.
I just did.
I just watched Darby Allin dive off a 20-foot ladder onto 2 panes of glass in the floor.
Hey, but it was coordinated with the help of safety professionals.
I'm sure he was fine.
I know that he was. I'm just people are still freaking out, but
I'm not freaking out. Like,
I'm not. I know
dude
you're
does what he
not.
wants. But I mean,
Exactly.
it's still like insane.
No.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. And yeah, I bring that up just because I've seen a lot of people saying, well, what about the shards of glass that fly into the crowd as a result of a stunt like this?
They had a warning.
There, yeah, there's an assumption of risk still when you go
Yeah.
to a wrestling event that, you might be in the way of some shit. Like, that's just what's going to happen. I still want to go to a
Yeah.
GCW show knowing that there might be shards of light tubes that may fly my way, but I still want to go to a GCW show.
Well, and like I've been to a CZW show where it was a panes of glass match,
Mm.
and they let you know, hey, if you want to leave and move
Now's the
back,
time. Yeah.
you can. AEW did put up a warning before the main event, so
Yeah.
they at least did that. But yeah, like during the panes of glass match that I watched, I had glass fall on me, and it happened. It is what it is. Like you
Yeah.
said, there's an assumption of risk. Even at the indie show we went to this weekend, it was, hey, if you're in the front row, the guardrail may hit you.
Yeah. And I mean, it came
So
damn close too.
we were close, but
Yeah.
it didn't hit us. But yeah, like that's, you go to a wrestling show, that's, shit happens.
Them's the breaks.
So
Anyway, keeping in the women's division, Kabuki Warriors defeated Lyra Valkyria, Tatum Paxley to retain the women's tag team championships. No real surprise here. The surprise that did happen, Roxanne Perez finally snapped, and then snapped Lyra's arm.
yeah, a good segment. I think this will be the stand and deliver program. I don't know if Roxanne will win. She might, just
Yeah.
because if you remember, we Braun was a face for a very long time, and then he got a heel run down in NXT, and now it is 100% clicked. They may be doing the same thing with Roxanne. We know Roxanne is talented enough to be on the main roster, but maybe they're going, hey, let's see how she does as a heel, and kind of develop exactly who we want on the main roster. Which again, I'm not mad at. The women's roster right now is stacked on the main roster.
She might get lost in the shuffle there. Yeah.
Exactly. Do I want her going up there and getting lost? No, I don't. So if that means in NXT and I get heel Roxanne Perez, I'm not mad.
Yeah. I would like to see what they do with it, because I mean they've also experimented with the heel Cora Jade return, and
Yeah.
it was
injury happened,
Yeah. And she probably didn't get to do everything that they wanted to, and that's fine. Excuse me. But yeah, I would like to see what Roxanne brings as a heel, and it's a very natural story to tell of, okay, I was never pinned for my championship. I would like it back. I would like an opportunity to get it back, and she has found herself just missing opportunities by,
that much
skin on her teeth. Like, that's it. Like, we saw that last week with the open challenge with Flash Legend after the Shotzi injury, which was a great rebound as far as scripting, and that's the benefit of being able to do a taped segment. But yeah, like I would like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing what they have here with a heel Roxanne. Just because, much like Bayley, those types of characters, when you're just nothing but overly positive but great in the ring, those get stale really, really quickly.
Yeah, and once the crowd turns on you, they turn on you. So I think it's a technique they're using in NXT just to round out the character. Like, let's see,
as they should, performer
wise, how you handle everything. So again, I don't want her to go up to the main roster and get lost in the shuffle. That's not what I want. So
hopefully not.
And NXT is good again, and
yeah,
I'm not mad at it. So I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah, and I think we're staring down the barrel of a very, very entertaining stand and deliver card. We will see how Trek and Mello follow up this performance this week, and all of the chaos that happened with it. I can't wait for WrestleMania weekend. I just can't. It's
gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I'm telling you, it might be brisket season.
It's gonna be it's. Because Stand and Deliver will be on that Saturday, so we're going to get a full 12 hours of wrestling that day, and then Sunday is night 2 of probably one of the biggest WrestleMania cards we've ever seen. So it's going to be exciting.
So you're planning to help me with this damn brisket, right? Got it.
I will put the brisket in the smoker, yes.
Okay. All right. You see what I have to deal with, guys? This is. That's the
I will help you eat it too. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, hey, if I gotta take the bullet, I'll take the bullet. I get it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So any final thoughts on NXT Roadblock as I watched Nicholas and Matthew Jackson with their goatees and fedoras and gray and purple suits here?
No, I think it was a solid episode. I think they have two interesting programs for sure going into Roadblock. I want to see how the rest of the card Roadblock Stand and Deliver. I want to see how the rest of the card rounds out. But yeah, pretty good episode. Like I said, NXT's good again. Let's have some fun with it.
Here. I think that'll about do it for this episode of Wind Down Wednesday with the Wrestling Junkies. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure to hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. We're at 194 subscribers on YouTube. If you guys know 6 people out there that would like this podcast, help us to get to 200 by the end of the weekend.
Awesome.
New content. Yeah, that we would greatly appreciate it. We've got new content coming. Special thanks to Lucas Chase and Red Dog for joining us for interviews this week. Cannot wait for you guys to hear these. Brand new Stump This Mark is coming this week as well. Johnny was super nice to me today, and it was kind of
contract year.
So basically,
he doesn't want to get franchise tagged.
So I basically
like your boy T. Higgins.
So I basically have to sit here while this guy blows smoke at my ass in hopes that it benefits him for a new contract. Give him new contract just so he can be a dick to me again.
Yes. Also, programming note: you will be on tomorrow without the podcast ad. The podcast ad does have to do some, daddy duties.
We'll get by.
So we'll get by. How dare you?
Yeah. I will get by because I will not be alone for tomorrow's episode. I will have IWE Pro joining me. They've got a big show coming up in Georgia this weekend, and people in Georgia just love us, and we're certainly ready to reciprocate and help them to promote everything that they've got going on right now. So join us for a great conversation as well. Like, share, subscribe, support our merch stores. Seriously, if you wear T-shirts, hoodies, or drink coffee, then we've got something for you. Just go take a look and have at it. I think that's all I've got for tonight. I've got sushi to eat, so I think it's time to get out of here. No,
I'm good. I'm good if you are.
I'm good, great, grand, wonderful. Good to see you as always, buddy. What are you doing?
That's my new warm up, and then I do the thumbs up. Bye, guys.
Good to see you guys. It's been Wrestling Junkie Podcast, and we'll talk to you guys soon.